In this video, I'll explain how Florida courts treat major commercial judgment enforcement. By the end of this video, you will learn the powerful tools available to collect on large business judgments and the obstacles you might face along the way. I'm Santiago Cueto, board certified international business law expert and best-selling author. Look, I've spent years helping businesses navigate the complex world of commercial litigation in Florida, and today I'm pulling back the curtain on what really happens after you win. Now, imagine for a moment winning a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against another business. You celebrate, the judge ruled in your favor, but then the reality hits. The other side refuses to pay. Well, what happens next? Let's start with the fundamental truth. Winning a judgment is only half the battle. Collection is where the real work begins. Florida law recognizes this challenge. The courts provide multiple enforcement mechanisms for commercial creditors, but you need to understand how to use them effectively. First, let's talk about what makes commercial judgments different from consumer cases. We're dealing with larger amounts. We're dealing with sophisticated parties. We're dealing with business assets that could be hidden or transferred very quickly. Florida courts understand these dynamics. They've developed specific procedures to address them. The moment your judgment becomes final, the clock starts ticking. You have 20 years to collect in Florida. That sounds like plenty of time, but judgment debtors work fast. They restructure, they transfer assets, they create new entities. Speed matters tremendously in commercial enforcement. Your first weapon is post-judgment discovery. This is where Florida courts really empower judgment creditors. You can demand financial documents, you can depose company officers, and you can subpoena bank records. The debtor must comply. It's not an option. Failure to comply can result in contempt charges and in extreme cases, even jail. Now, here's what many people don't realize. Post-judgment discovery in commercial cases is broader than pretrial discovery. See, it makes sense. The courts recognize your legitimate need to find assets. You're not on a fishing expedition anymore. You have a judgment. You have a legal right to collect. Florida judges give you significant latitude on this. Depositions in aid of execution are particularly powerful mechanisms. You bring the judgment debtor into court. They must answer questions under oath. Where are the bank accounts? Where are the receivables? Which assets exist? These depositions uncover information that debtors would never voluntarily disclose, but there's a catch. Discovery takes time. It costs money. You're investing more resources after already winning your case. This frustrates many judgment creditors. After all, they expected the court victory to be the end of it all. Instead, it's often just the beginning of a whole new phase. If you're finding this valuable so far, do me a favor and hit that like button right now and subscribe to this channel. I share practical legal insights for business owners every single week. These tools can save your company hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now let's discuss the actual collection tools that Florida provides. Writs of execution are your bread and butter here. The sheriff seizes physical assets, equipment, inventory, real property gets levied, but commercial debtors rarely leave valuable assets just sitting around unprotected. They know these tools exist, and they plan accordingly. Now, garnishment becomes more effective in commercial cases. You can garnish business bank accounts. You can garnish accounts receivables. This hits companies where it really hurts. Now, cash flow drives business operations. Garnishment disrupts that flow immediately. I've seen companies settle within days of garnishment being served. There's also charging orders. Charging orders apply when the debtor owns interest in LLCs or partnerships. Florida law allows you to intercept distributions. You become entitled to whatever the debtor would have received. This tool frustrates debtors significantly. They can't access their own distributions while the judgment remains unpaid. That really hurts here. And fraudulent transfer actions are the nuclear option here. Did the debtor transfer assets to insiders? Did they sell property below market value? Florida's fraudulent transfer statute lets you unwind those transactions. You can reach assets that were moved specifically to avoid your judgment. The look-back period extends 4 years in some circumstances. But let's be honest about the challenges here. Florida is a debtor-friendly state in many, many ways. Homestead protection is extremely strong. Wage garnishment has its limitations, and certain assets enjoy statutory exemptions altogether. Commercial debtors use these protections creatively, and that's why Florida is called a debtor's paradise. And corporate structure adds another layer of complexity here. Your judgment might be against Company A, but all the assets sit in Company B. Florida respects corporate separateness, and piercing the corporate veil here is possible but difficult. You need evidence of fraud or improper conduct. Undercapitalization alone usually isn't enough. Offshore accounts present enormous challenges. I'm seeing this more frequently in major commercial cases. You see, assets get transferred to foreign entities. International enforcement becomes necessary in these cases. Florida courts can enter orders, but enforcement abroad requires cooperation from foreign jurisdictions. That cooperation is not guaranteed. Geographic mobility matters here too. Commercial assets can move between states very quickly. Your Florida judgment might need domestication in other jurisdictions. Each state has different procedures. Each state has different exemptions. Multi-state enforcement multiplies your costs and complexity here. Now, smart creditors act strategically from day one. They record judgments immediately. This creates liens on real property. They monitor public records for asset transfer, and they stay aggressive with discovery. Passive creditors lose out to aggressive ones. Negotiated settlements often make economic sense here. You might recover 60 cents on the dollar immediately. That beats spending years in enforcement proceedings around the world. The time value of money matters. Legal fees matter. Sometimes a bird in the hand truly is worth two in the bush. Prevention works better than collection. Before extending significant credit, investigate thoroughly. Before signing major contracts, understand the counterparty's financial position. Structure deals with security interests whenever possible. These precautions reduce your enforcement burden later on. The bottom line is this. Florida courts provide powerful enforcement tools for commercial judgments, but those tools require knowledge, persistence, and the resources to use effectively. The legal system gives you options. Success depends on executing those options skillfully. If this video helped you understand commercial judgment enforcement better, show your support. Like this video and subscribe to this channel, and share it with other business owners who need this information. Your engagement helps me reach more people with practical legal knowledge. I'm Santiago Cueto, your Florida business attorney. Be sure to watch more of my videos right here.